he just tried to make me laugh every day, like right before they yelled action, because he thought it was funny if I was holding up production.
Oh, so you never got, I wondered if you had that moment, where like, as a kid, you're like, I'm going to, should I do acting? Should I do hockey? I love both. What decision do I make? And then to have chosen acting and to return to the scene of your hockey match and go, look, I made the right choice.
No, I mean, I never thought of acting as a career. When I was a kid, my mom got me into like print work and little Sears catalogs and stuff like that for little commercials and just stuff because I was comfortable in front of a camera and I could put a little money aside for, whether it be college or at the time it was like my sister and I needed a retainer or some kind of dental work. It was like not covered by the health plan. So, that was where it came from. So, I never thought of acting as a career. I never thought I would go to the NHL. I was pretty self-aware for a young kid. And I knew that in Canada, you've got a pretty good idea if you have a pathway to the NHL from like 12 years old. So, one of the guys I played with ended up going to the NHL. But other than that, everybody kind of found their other thing. And then summer before 11th grade, out of nowhere, my modeling agent phoned me with an audition for Cheaper by the Dozen 2 to play Eugene Levy and Carmen Electra's son. And I just happened to look the part and quit hockey and took it as my foot in the door, and still had no idea if it was something that was going to work out for me, but I figured this was my chance, so I might as well give it a shot. And luckily it's worked out because I still don't know what I would do.
But were there not some nice I guess if you're a believer in like fate, there was on Cheaper by the Dozen 2, you had no lines when you got the part, but by the end of the movie they'd given you some lines.
Yeah, they gave me a few lines. I mean, the big thing was it was like the two families, right? So I had to audition with fake sides. They were lines from like Tom Welling's character or something in the movie. And then really it came down to a look thing. They wanted all the kids to look like they were, fairly similar. And the great thing was for me was I was the tallest kid. So I was always standing beside Eugene Levy, and he just tried to make me laugh every day, like right before they yelled action, because he thought it was funny if I was holding up production. And I just learned a ton. I really enjoyed the people that I was working with. And I just kind of was like, you know what? This is an opportunity. Let me give it a shot. If it doesn't work, who cares? It doesn't change anything. And if it does work, maybe I can run with this. And I ended up booking Life with Derek, which was a Canadian show that played on the Disney Channel that ended up, getting pretty big for what it was and got me enough to, get my visa and go to LA. And looking back at it, now that I have a son, it feels like a big deal because I would be like, what do you can't just do that. But my parents were super supportive. We didn't have much money, so I just banked as much as I could and moved out there and tried to, live as inexpensively as I possibly could, and ate a lot of Subway sandwiches. And and luckily, it went okay.
Yeah, I'll say. But you went back to Toronto though. You didn't fancy staying out in LA, living in LA. You wanted to be back, I guess, where your roots are.
No, I lived there since 2007. First few gigs brought me back Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver, but then I was like, I had a place there since 2008, and my wife and I had our son September of 2019, and COVID hit right after, and we spent a little time in LA. Then we came home to visit family, and then that became a much longer trip than we thought it would. And then my show shoots in Vancouver, my wife's show shoots in Vancouver, so it was a lot of time in Canada. COVID kind of changed the landscape of having to live in LA as an actor, and we figured, we can be closer to family and raise our son here, but at the same time we kind of go where the work is. So until he's of the age where he needs to set up roots in a school, it's kind of like, okay, well, we can figure this out wherever we go. So it's Toronto, it's Vancouver, it's LA, it's wherever the work is.
Hello, Alex here. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to get in touch with us at all, for any reason, you can find us on Twitter and Instagram at JTFpod. And don't forget to subscribe to the full audio podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your pods.